Sisinya, a Pibisanya, Terawara, Boda, Adana Tektu, Pamaka Sharo, Dr. Badanda, Tilanana Biwandaga, Akana Pisonjo, Nigonjo, Megon, Menjajin Pepari. Nigonjo, Megon, Menjapiro Mubayan, Siaroa, Tabero, Yudizwa, Shauta, Barepia.
Your Holinesses, your most venerable Mahathiras, distinguished guests, your Excellencies, friends in the Dhamma, and ladies and gentlemen. The Buddhist summit will be brought to a glorious end a few moments from now. As you know, the government of Myanmar and its people have spared no effort, both physically and financially, to make it a success. And I hope that that has been accomplished quite well. But however much they have endeavored, if there were no participants, it would come to nothing. Now that you have participated in this historic event quite enthusiastically as speakers, panelists, discussionists, and so on, this summit has come to a resounding success. Therefore, the success of this Buddhist summit is due to both the government and people of Myanmar on the one hand, and the participants like you on the other. This summit is convened on the principle of unity among Buddhists, regardless of their being Theravada or Mahayana or Vajrayana, etc. We have invited delegates from 34 countries, and as a record, I would like to read the names of those countries here. The names of the countries will be in alphabetical order. They are Australia, Austria, our countries, and in foreign countries. For example, the teaching of the Four Noble Truths. Every Buddhist sect believes that it is the authentic teaching of the Buddha, and so we can cooperate in teaching it to the world. The Noble Eightfold Path, which is one of the Four Noble Truths, is an important one, and we must practice first ourselves and then teach them to the world. The impermanence of all things conditioned, suffering nature of all things conditioned, and non-soul nature of all things, both conditioned and unconditioned, which are also accepted by all Buddhists, are another subject which we all agree, and so we can teach them too. The teaching of the universal love, that is, love for all beings without exception, down to the tiny insects, is well-known teaching of the Buddha, and also to be compassionate to all beings can be and will be taught to the world, but first practicing ourselves and later teaching it to the world. There are other teachings as well that are accepted by all sects of Buddhism, and we can make effort to teach them. With the principles of Buddhism, which are after all universal principles, the world can be made into a place where peace and harmony prevail, and people can live their lives without worry and anxiety. As to educating the people of the world, we must say that the first fellowship of Buddhists held in 1950 in Colombo, Sri Lanka, unanimously decided the term Hinayana should be dropped when referring to Buddhism existing in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos, etc. I would like to add that the term Hinayana should be dropped from usage altogether, since it implies that the person who used that term think that those termed Hinayana are inferior to Mahayana and Vajrayana. In these days, it is not a good manner to refer to others rather than one's own as inferior. And also for the sake of unity, we would avoid it altogether in our speeches, books, and so on. The other thing is the commercial companies using the Buddha image and other Buddhist symbols in commercial objects to promote their sales. We must tell them, without being rude or violent, to leave Buddhists alone and not to desecrate our sacred objects in commercializing their commodities. We are grateful to the government of Myanmar for permitting us to use the internet, the expediency of which made work smooth. Without that, the summit would not run so smoothly. In the future also, I hope that the government will allow us to use the internet in propagating Buddhist teachings to the world. As of today, I am talking by phone the Patimokkha to the students in Taiwan, Mexico, and America. I talk through the phone because the place where I live, Half Moon Bay in California, has no adequate phone connection by computers yet. But my students listen to my talk through their computers, and they said that my voice was very clear. Thus, talking through the internet can reach many listeners without me ever leaving my place. Last but not least, I understand that it is arranged for some of you to go on a pilgrimage to Bagan and Mandalay with the compliments of Myanmar government and people. You will find many interesting things, especially the archaeological things of religious interest. It is good to know even a little of their culture when you learn something about their religion. I hope you will find many things there. And when you visit Bagan, I would like to ask you to make it a must to see two inscriptions in Bagan. One is called Raja Kumara or Myazedi inscription. It has a parallel in Egyptian archaeology. I think you know the Rosetta Stone. That stone was written in 3 languages, and it was through this inscription that Egyptologists could decipher the hieroglyphs of Egyptian language. Quite similarly, Raja Kumara or Myazedi inscription was written in Pali, Pew, Mon, and Myanmar languages on its 4 sides. It was from this inscription that Myanmar people were able to decipher to some extent the Pew language, which is one of the ancient languages of Myanmar. The subject written was just the dedication when King Chansita was ill and his son wanted to dedicate the Buddha image before the king died. The other inscription was the Shweguji inscription in Shweguji Pagoda in Bagan. In the pagoda were inlaid 2 slabs of inscription side by side on the wall in the inner pagoda. It was put there by King Alaung Sidu, the donor of the pagoda. The inscription contains 100 elegant Pali verses expressing his compassion for all beings who are suffering in the round of rebirth and aspiring for Buddhahood. It is indeed a rare experience that one sees the inspiration for Buddhahood on an inscription. It clearly shows that Buddhahood was not unknown to theists, and here the king himself was aspiring for Buddhahood. And in the end, the inscription ends with 2 additional verses in Sanskrit. In Mandalay, you will see the Tipitaka on 729 marble slabs donated by King Mindon in 1868. Each marble slab is about 5 feet high, 3.5 feet across, and about 5 inches thick. Each slab is housed in a shrine, and they were put in the Kudodo Pagoda in Mandalay. Near that pagoda, there is another pagoda called Sandamuni Pagoda, where you can see the commentaries written on marble slabs, which were put there by Hamid Ukhandi. So these are the highlights you will see on your pilgrimage. In conclusion, we would like to thank all of you for participating in this historical summit, and to all the staff and others from top to bottom who made every effort for the participants to be comfortable. And also, we must not forget to thank Tidigu Sayadaw and his staff, who from the very beginning to the end worked hard to make the summit what it is, leaving no stones unturned in doing so. May you all be well, happy and peaceful. May the Dhamma prevail in the world. May the original teachings of the Buddha continue to exist in its pristine purity. Thank you.
Agama Tarama Zotica Desa, Abidesa Agama Tarama Zotica, West Victoria, a PV China, Kerawa, Buddha Dana, Ticket, Bamaka, Joke, Dauda, Badanda, Silananda, Sharofiaji, Savana, Ajadio Kato, Tuchi Topana, Una Puza, Una Katava, Devalo Kupamiro, Sharofiaji, Sharofiaji, Monchama, Chapale, Tayo, Devalo Kupamiro, Rupa, Kuzojabasu.
20ကျော်မှာဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးရဲ့ဂုဏ်တော်ကျေးဇူးတော်တွေဒါတော့ဒီနေ့ကြော်ရင်ကိုယ်နိုင်အောင်ရှိတယ်ဓမ္မတွေလည်းအများအပြားဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးရဲ့ပညာလုံးဒီဓမ္မတွေကုန်တဲ့ရောဒါတွေသိပြီးဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲတော့သူပြောတယ်လို့ညာမသိသေးတယ်ဒီမထားပြီးတဲ့ဂုဏ်တော်တချို့ဘုရားနေနဲ့မတရားပြောကြလို့ပါတယ်ဒီလိုရဲ့ကျေးဇူးရှင်ဆရာဘုရားကြီးအတုကန္တနာကိုမိမိကိုယ်ကိုမြင့်တင်ပြီးတော့ပရဝဏသူတစ်ပါးကိုရှုံးကြခဲ့ရဆိုတဲ့ဟာမျိုးမရှိခဲ့ဘူးဆရာတော်ဘုရားဟာပရိယတ်ဒီနယ်ပယ်မှာပါဠိတွေထက္ကရာတွေဒီဃာတွေမြန်မာစာပေကျမ်းဂန်အင်္ဂလိပ်စာပေတက္ကသစာပေပရာဂရိတ်စာဒီလိုကျမ်းဂန်ပေါင်းမြောက်များစွာကိုကျမ်းကျွမ်းကျင်ပြီးတော့ပါဠိအင်္ဂလိပ်တက္ကသမြန်မာရေးရကျမ်းပေါင်းများစွာနဲ့ရေးတာပြုပြီးစင်ခဲ့ပရိပတ်တိနယ်ပယ်မှာဆိုရင်လည်းပဲပရိပတ်တိနဲ့ဆိုင်ရာကျမ်းဂန်တွေရေးတာတွေကိုယ်တိုင်လည်းတရားအားထုတ်တယ်တပါးတော်တရားဓမ္မတွေလည်းတရားဟောပြမြောက်များစွာလည်းဒီအမျိုးမျိုးသင်တန်းတွေပေးခဲ့ပြီးတော့ဒီဘွယ်ရီဂုံတူတွေအနေနဲ့လည်းပဲတက်ကြတိဟဓမ္မစရိယခေါ်တဲ့မြန်မာပြည်မှာဓမ္မစရိယထဲမှာအခက်အခဲဆုံးဖြစ်တဲ့ဒီတက်ကြတိဟဓမ္မစရိယကိုလည်းအောင်မြင်ခဲ့တယ်အစိုးရနိုင်ငံတော်အစိုးရဒီမွကျွန်းကပခဲ့တဲ့ဒီဓမ္မစရိယကိုလည်းဂုံတူနဲ့တကွာသာသနာ့တရားဒီဘောရဓမ္မစရိယဆိုတဲ့ဂုံတူကိုရခဲ့တယ်ပြီးတော့နိုင်ငံတော်အစိုးရကနေပြီးတော့ဧကမဟာပါဠိတံပွဲတွေဧကမဟာတရမသောတိကပွဲအဘိဓိဇဧကမတရမသောတိကပွဲပြီးတော့စာပေထောက်တာပွဲဒီလိုပွဲတွေအမြင်ချင်းဒီဆရာတော်ကိုပူဇော်ဒီကြဲကြအဲ့ဒီလိုအဲ့ဒီဂုဏ်တော်အထွေတွေပေါ်ကြရစေကောင်းအဲ့ဒီဂုဏ်တော်တွေကိုဆရာတော်ကအမိပြုပြီးတော့မိမိကိုယ်ကိုမြင့်တင်ပြီးတော့အတုကန္တရာဘောမရှိခဲ့နော်ပြီးတော့မိမိကိုယ်ကိုဒီလိုပညာရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ရင်တတ္တဝါတွေမှာဖြစ်တတ်တာမာနတွေကိုယ့်ကိုမြင့်တင်ပြီးပြောတတ်ဆိုလေးဆိုတတ်ရှိတယ်အဲဒီလိုဆရာတော်မှမရှိဘူးအဲလိုကိုယ့်ကိုမှမြင့်တင်ဘူးဒီတော်ဘာကိုလည်းရှုံချတယ်ပရဝဏဆိုတဲ့ကိစ္စမျိုးလည်းမရှိဘူးဒါကြောင့်မလို့ဒီအတ္တကန္တနာပရဝဏကင်းတဲ့ဂုဏ်တော်လည်းဆရာတော်မှရှိတော်မူခဲ့ပြီးတော့တင်နံပါတ်အနေနဲ့အပိစ္ဆအလိုနီးတဲ့ဒီဆရာတော်မှရှိတယ်ခေါင်းကပြောခဲ့တဲ့ဒီလိုဂုဏ်တော်ဒီအမျိုးမျိုးပရိပတ်ကပရိယပရိပတ်ဘက်ဆုံပြီးတော့ကျန်ကမျိုးရေးသားဗရိဂုံလိုအမျိုးမျိုးရပြီနဲ့ဒီမိမိကိုပုံကြည့်လို့မှုထင်ပေါ်လို့မှုအထင်ကြီးစေလို့မှုရုပ်စွာဆုံးမိမိကြောင်းကံတိုးတက်လို့တဲ့အမှုကိစ္စမှာဆိုရင်မိသည့်ကိစ္စမှာမိမိကပြောခဲ့တဲ့ဂုံတုပွဲလူတွေကိုအသုံးချပြီးပြောဆိုလို့မရှိဘူးဆရာအဲဒီလိုအပိစ္ဆတာဆိုတဲ့အလိုနီးတဲ့ဂုဏ်တော်နဲ့ပြည့်စုံပြီးတော့ဆရာတော်ဟာဒီနေရာဌာနကြီးဟိုမှာဒီအင်္ဂလိပ်စကားဘာသာနဲ့ကျွမ်းကျင်ပြောဆိုရမယ့်နေရာမှာတော့အင်္ဂလိပ်အမေရိကန်တယောက်လိုပဲဒီကျွမ်းကျင်ဆရာတော်ကပြောသုံးပြီးပြောဆိုပေမဲ့မြန်မာဘာသာတက်တယ်ပြောဆိုနေတဲ့အခါကျတော့လည်းဘရောမဆရာတော်ကဒီအင်္ဂလိပ်စကားကြီးညှက်ညစ်ပြီးတော့သုံးတာမရှိဘူးရှောင်လွှဲတယ်မသိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကတော့အင်္ဂလိပ်စကားတတ်မှတ်တာမသိဘူးအဲ့လောက်မိမိကိုအပိစ္ဆတာပုံမှန်ပြည့်စုံတော့ပြီးတော့3နံပါတ်ကစီကြီးအလားမိုးကြီးဆရာတော်ကမိမိတို့လောကနေဒီမှာလာတယ်အဘုဒ္ဓပန္တိတောပေရီပြည့်စုံသောဟောဒီပုစီတော်ပညာရှိတို့မြည်မမွေးမတီးတဲ့စီဘရောမှမမြည်ဘူးထွက်မလာစိတ်ပဲနေလေးနေတတ်ပြည့်စုံသောဟောဒီပုစီတော်မွေးလာရင်တော့ကောင်းငင်ကနော်ဒီမိုးကြီးထက်ချုံပြီးရွာတော့ချိုးတယ်နော်ဘယ်ကဒီစီကြီးတိခတ်လိုက်လို့စီကြီးကမြည်ခိလာတယ်ပဲဆရာတော်ကသူ့ကျမ်းဂန်နဲ့ပတ်သက်လို့မွေးလာရင်တော့ကျမ်းဂန်အမျိုးမျိုးအထောက်ထားမျိုးမျိုးကနေဒီရှင်းပြဖော်ပြဒါကြတဲ့အမျိုးမျိုးအဲ့လိုသူကအသင်ပြဆိုးမှရှိနော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မလို့ကိုပြောတဲ့မမွေးရင်တော့စီကြီးနော်မွေးလာပြီဆိုရင်တော့ကိုလိုမိုးကြီးရွာသိန်းလို့တကယ်တော့တပြိုင်မဲ့သူအသိဉာဏ်တွေကထုတ်ပေါ်ပြီးတော့ ညွန်ကြားဆုံးမပြောဆိုရရှိတယ်ကျန်ကမျိုးမျိုးလဲဒီဆိုကြပါစို့ဘုန်းကြီးတို့ကိုသူစာပေကိုဘုန်းကြီးသူစီကနေကိုတဲ့အခါမှာသူကြည့်ထားတဲ့ကျန်ကန်ဒီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နေရာတစ်ခုမှာဒီအထောက်ထားကဘယ်ကျန်ကန်မှာရှိတယ်ဆိုတာသူကအဲဒီညွန်ပြထားတယ်ရှိတယ်။ဒါမှမဟုတ်သူစာအုပ်တွေကြည့်ရင်ဘုန်းကြီးတို့မှာအများကြီးနေရတယ်။အဲဒါကြောင့်မလို့အဲဒီလိုဒီချင်းတော်နဲ့ပြည့်စုံတော်မူတယ်။၄နံပါတ်ကအစားအသောက်နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဆရာတော်ကတန်တုတ်တီပိဏဘာဒတန်တော်တာဆိုတာဒီအစားအသောက်နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးရောင်ရဲလွယ်မှုရှိတယ်။ဘယ်တော့ကာမဘာသာရင်းနဲ့ပဲညာစားခြင်းနဲ့ဆရာတော်ဘယ်တော့မှပြောတာမရှိဘူး။အဘယ်အားလျက်မစားကောင်းဘူးပြောစားမစားကောင်းဘူးလို့လည်းပဲဒီပြောတာမရှိဘူး။အဲတော့မိမိရှေ့မှာရောက်ရှိလာတဲ့စားပွဲတောက်ဖို့ပြည့်တာနဲ့သူကဒီပုံပွေသုံးဆောင်ရှိတယ်။ပိဏဘာဒတန်တော်တာဆိုတဲ့အစားအသောက်နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ရောင်ရဲလွယ်မှုလို့ဆရာတော်မှာရှိတယ်။ပြီးတော့ဒီကိုအရှင်းနားမှာရှိတယ်ဆိုသူစားယူနေရှိဘိုးကလှမ်းပြီးတော့ယူလာတော့ကြောပြီးတော့ဘာတော့မှသူမရှိဘူးဟိုအဲ့လိုအစားတောင်းနေပတ်သက်လို့လဲလောလောပေါ်တနာအားနေတော့မူတယ်နော်ပြီးတော့9နံပါတ်အနေနဲ့ဘောဇနေမတ်တင်ယူတာဘောဇနာမတ်တင်ယူတာအကုန်လုံးပြည့်စုံတယ်ဘောဇနာမတ်တင်ယူတာဆိုတာအစားနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့အတိုင်းရှိကိုသိတယ်ကောနော်အဲ့တော့ဆရာတော်ကသူထည့်ထားတဲ့ဆွန်းတပကံကပို့ပြီးတော့ငါထပ်ထည့်ပေးပါအောင်ထပ်တောင်းလိုက်တော့ဘယ်တော့မှမရှိဘူးသူပကံနဲ့ရှိသူတာသူစားပြီးပုံပွေပြီးတော့သုံးဆောင်တော့အဲကြောင့်ဆွမ်းမောစဉ်အတိုင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့အတိုင်းရှိကိုသိတယ်ဘောဇနာမတ်တင်ယူတာအကုန်နဲ့ဆရာတော်ပြည့်စုံတော့ပြီးတော့အတ္တနိဝါဒဆရာတော်ကခုလိုပရိယတိပရိပတ်တိကျေဝပြီးတော့ဘုံဘွယ်လူဘုံသူတို့တွေများစွာရရှိနေတယ်ငါဆရာပဲငါလူကြီးပဲသဘောမထားဘူးတခါတည်းမိမိမေ့ရတာဖြစ်ပြီနော်အလျင်မြန်သိစေလို့ဖြစ်တပိများပြီးတော့ဆရာတော်ကတပိများကိုချီးမြှင့်ပြောဆိုရမှာတပိအခုနော်ကြက်သီးမွေးညင်ထားလောက်ရတဲ့ပံဝန္တာဆရာရှိခဲ့ဦးတယ်နော်ဒါတော့ဘုန်းကြီးကိုတွေ့ပြောတာနော်ဘုန်းကြီးရဲ့ကိုရေးသားထားတဲ့ပိဋကတော်နဲ့မဆိတွေလည်းဒီကောင်းဆရာမှာဆရာတော်အမှားသားချင်းမြင့်တော်မူခဲ့ဦးတယ်နော်အဲ့တော့အဲ့ဒီအမှားသားကိုဘုန်းကြီးအနည်းငယ်ဖတ်ပြပါနော်
မျက်မှောက်ခေတ်မှာဒီဓမ္မနန္ဒဝိဟာရဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးဟာဘုရားမြတ်စွာလက်ထက်တော်ခါကာလတုန်းကဘုရားရဲ့လက်ရယံရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရကြီးကိုဂုဏ်တင်ပြီးတော့ပြောတဲ့ဓမ္မသေနာပတိဓမ္မရေးရမှာအစွမ်းကောင်းတဲ့ဥတည်ပြီးတော့စွမ်းစွမ်းဓမ္မဆောင်ရွက်တဲ့ဓမ္မစစ်သူကြီးဆိုတဲ့ဝါဟာရမျိုးနဲ့ထိုက်တန်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်လို့ဆိုရမှာပါမျက်မှောက်ခေတ်ပြည်ပသာသနာပြုတဲ့နေရာမှာအားလုံးသိကြတဲ့အတိုင်းဓမ္မနန္ဒဝိဟာရဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးဟာစွမ်းစွမ်းဓမ္မနိုင်ငံတကာလှည့်ပြီးတော့ဘုရားမြတ်စွာရဲ့တရားဓမ္မတွေကိုဖြန့်ဖြူးလို့အောင်မြင်မြင်ဘုရားရဲ့ဓမ္မတရားတွေကိုဟောကြားလို့သာသနာတော်များကြီးကိုပြန်ပွားအောင်ဆောင်ရွက်ခဲ့လို့ဓမ္မသေနာပတိလို့ဆိုလိုက်ပါတယ်အခုဓမ္မသေနာပတိလို့ဆိုလိုက်တဲ့အားလုံးရဲ့ကျေးဇူးတော်ရှင်ဖြစ်တဲ့ဓမ္မနန္ဒဝိဟာရဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးဒီကနေ့မှာဘဝနန္ဒဆံမြန်းပြီးတော့သွားလို့အားလုံးဟာရှင်အနန္ဒာရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရပြိဋိဘံစံလို့ခံစားရတယ်လို့ခံစားကြရလိမ့်မယ်လို့ထင်ပါတယ်ရှင်အနန္ဒာရဲ့အလွန်စကားရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရဟာဘုရားမြတ်စွာဘုရားမစံမီဘုရားမြတ်စွာကကဆုံလာပြီးနေမှာပြိဋိဘံစံမယ်ထိုကဲ့သို့ကဆုံလာပြီးမရောက်မီတဇောင်းမုံလာပြီးနေမှာရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမိမိရဲ့ဇာတိဝေးဖွားရာအရာဖြစ်တဲ့ နာလကရွာကလေးသူကြွရောက်ပြီးမိမိဝေးဖွားရာတိုက်ခန်းမှာပဲပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားခဲ့ပါတယ်ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားတော့အနိကပ်ပြီးတော့ပြုစုတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကညီတော်စုံဒမထေဖြစ်ထိုညီတော်စုံဒမထေဟာရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားတဲ့အခါရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေမြတ်အမြဲတမ်းသုံးဆွဲတဲ့သပိတ်သင်္ကန်းများကိုယူဆောင်ပြီးတော့ဘုရားမြတ်စွာရှိရာပရိသုံးရာအရတ်တို့ရောက်လာခဲ့ပြန်လာခဲ့ပြီးတော့ရှေးဥစွာရှင်အနန္ဒမထေမြတ်နဲ့တွေ့ပြီးရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေမြတ်တော်အရှင်ဘုရားပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားပါပြီဟောတာရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေမြတ်ရဲ့သပိတ်နဲ့သင်္ကန်းပါပဲလို့ရှင်အနန္ဒမထေမြတ်ထံသတင်းပို့လျှောက်ကြားတဲ့အခါရှင်အနန္ဒမထေမြတ်သောတာပန်ဖြစ်လင်ကစားရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာပြတော့အလွန်တရာပဲသူဝမ်းနဲ့ကြေကွဲမှုခံစားရတယ်သူပြောလိုက်တဲ့ရှင်အနန္ဒမထေမြတ်ဝမ်းနဲ့ကြေကွဲမှုကိုဖော်ပြတာတော့မဓုရကကာယောမေဇာတောသူခန္ဓာကိုယ်ကြီးကတကောလုံးဘာလို့လို့မှမသိဘူးစက်တည်တည်သွားတယ်တောင့်တင်းခိုင်မာသွားတယ်မလှုပ်နိုင်မရှက်နိုင်ဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဒီလိုခံစားရပါတယ်ဒီတာပိမေနမခာယန္တိပက္ခာယန္တိပဝဉ္ဇဉ်ဟာလည်းသူ့အဖို့မှာအုံမိုင်းပြီးတော့ဘာလို့မှစဉ်းစားတွေးခေါ်လို့မရတော့အောင်စိတ်ထဲမှာခံစားရပြီးဓမ္မပိမန္နပฏิပန္တိပွားများအထုတ်နေကြတတိပဋ္ဌာန်တရားတွေဟာလည်းပဲပွားများအထုတ်လို့မရဘူးတဲ့တတိပဋ္ဌာန်တရားတွေသူ့တန်မှာအမှတ်တရားတွေလည်းပဲပျောက်ဆုံးကုန်တယ်လို့ရှင်အနန္ဒမထေရသူ့ရဲ့ဝမ်းနည်းစကားဒီလိုဖော်ကျူးခဲ့မြတ်စွာဘုရားကသူ့ရဲ့ခံစားချက်ကိုရှောက်တယ်ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမြတ်ပြိဋိဘံဆံပြီးသွားပြီးဆိုတော့တပည့်တော်ဒီလိုခံစားရတယ်ဆိုတော့မြတ်စွာဘုရားကတောကပြည်ငြိမ်းဖို့အတွက်ရှင်အနန္ဒမထေရမြတ်ကိုမိတ်တဲ့စကားအမှန်တမ်းမှတ်သားစရာကောင်းပါတယ်အခုဒီကနေ့ဒီပြိဋ္ဌာဟာလည်းပဲထိုမြတ်စွာဘုရားကရှင်အနန္ဒမထေရမြတ်ကိုမိတ်တဲ့စကားမျိုးလိုပဲတွေ့တော့ဆင်ခြင်ကမိမိတို့ရဲ့ဖြစ်ပေါ်လာတဲ့တောကဖြည့်သိမ့်ရရမှာဖြစ်တယ်မြတ်စွာဘုရားကအာနန္ဒမင်းစဉ်းစားကြည့်ပေါ့ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားတဲ့ထဲမှာမင်းရဲ့သီလတွေပါသွားသလားသမာဓိတရားတွေပါသွားသလားပညာတရားတွေပါသွားသလားမင်းရဲ့လွတ်မြောက်မှုတရားတွေဟာပါသွားသလားလွတ်မြောက်မှုနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့အသိဉာဏ်တရားတွေဟာပါသွားသလားလို့ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာကတေတ္တနာမှာရှိတဲ့အရည်အသွေးတွေသီလသမာဓိပညာဆိုတဲ့အရည်အသွေးတွေကိုယူဆောင်ပြီးတော့ပြိဋိဘံဆံသွားသလားလို့မြတ်စွာဘုရားကဒီလိုမေးတဲ့အခါရှင်အနန္ဒမထေရမြတ်ကမြတ်စွာဘုရားတပည့်တော်ရဲ့သီလသမာဓိပညာတွေရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာပြိဋိဘံဆံတဲ့နေရာမှာပါသွားတာတော့မဟုတ်ပါဘူးဒါပေမဲ့လို့ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမြတ်ဟာတပည့်တော်တို့ကိုအမြဲတမ်းသွန်သင်ဆုံးမတဲ့ဆရာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဩဝါဒကောအမြဲတမ်းကြည့်ရှုပြီးတော့အကြံဉာဏ်ပေးတယ်ဆုံးမတယ်တန်တတ်တဲ့ကောတရားဓမ္မနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ထင်ရှားအောင်ပြတတ်တယ်အနုဂါကောသဗ္ဗမစာရိဏသတင်းသုံးပေါ်တွေကိုအမြဲတမ်းအာပိကူညီဓမ္မရေးရနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့အာပိကူညီမသိသေးတာတွေသိအောင်ရှင်းလင်းတာတွေရှင်းလင်းအောင်ဆိုပြီးတော့ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမြတ်တပည့်တော်တို့ပေါ်မှာဓမ္မနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့အလွန်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခဲ့တယ်ဗျာတဲ့အဲ့ဒီအလွန်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခဲ့တဲ့ရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမြတ်တပည့်တော်တို့ကိုတိုက်ကျွေးတဲ့ဓမ္မဩဇာဓမ္မောဇဓမ္မပရိဘောဂတပည့်တော်တို့သုံးဆောင်ရတဲ့ဓမ္မရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမထေရမြတ်တိုက်ကျွေးခဲ့တဲ့ဓမ္မအရာဓာတ်တွေကိုတပည့်တော်အလွန်ပဲတတိယနေပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဘုန်းကြီးတို့ဓမ္မနန္ဒဝိဟာရဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးရဲ့တတိတကားတွေဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးဓမ္မတရားဓမ္မနာယူရတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေဟာလည်းပဲထိုဆရာတော်ဘုရားကြီးရှိစဉ်ကာလတုန်းကဩဝါဒပေးသွားတာတွေဆုံးမသွားတာတွေတ သွန်သင်ပြသသွားတာဒီအဲ့ဒါတွေကိုပြန်ပြီးတော့တတိယပြီးတော့နေကြမှာပဲဒီဟာတွေတတိယတော့ယူကြုံမရဖြစ်ကြရတာရှင်အနန္ဒမထေရသောတာပန်ဖြစ်လေတဲ့ကအမေတာတန်ဖိုးရှိတဲ့တရားဓမ္မတွေရှင်သာရိပုတ္တရာမရှိတော့တို့နာရတော့မဟုတ်ဘူးလို့စိတ်ထဲမှာဒီလိုဖြစ်ရတယ်ဒီကာရဝတွေလည်းဒီလိုဖြစ်ကြမှာပဲအဲ့တော့မြတ်စွာဘုရားသခင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကအနန္ဒာငါအမြဲတမ်းဟောတယ်မဟုတ်လားလောကကြီးမှာဖြစ်ပေါ်လာတဲ့တရားမှန်သမျှဒီနေ့ကျတော့ပြည့်ရမှာပဲယံကိစီဇာတံဘူတံသိက္ခတံပါလောကတံလောကကြီးမှာအကြောင်းတရားတွေကပေါင်းစပ်ပြီးတော့လှုပ်ထားတဲ့ဓမ္မမှန်သမျှနောက်ဆုံးတစ်နေ့ဟာဒီလိုပဲကုံဆုံးပြီးတော့သွားရတာဒီကြီးလေးချစ်ခင်မြန်လို့တဲ့ပုံကိုယ်တွေလည်းပဲတနေ့ကျတော့ခွဲသွားရတယ်ဆိုတာလောကရဲ့ဘာဝလို့ငါဘုရားဟောတာလေတန်ကုဋ္ဌိထလဘဘာတတ်နိုင်ပါလဲဒီနှလုံးသွင်းလေးကတောကကိုဖြည့်တယ်
ဆောက်ပေးကြတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များကိုသူတည်တည်ရှိတာပြောကြလို့ပါတယ်။ဒါတော့အကျမ်းရေးအတွက်ကျမ်းစာပေါင်းများပြီးကြတဲ့ဒီဆိုရင်ဆရာဝန်မဆရာဝန်များလူတိုင်းတော့၎င်းတယ်လီဖုန်းနဲ့တော့၎င်းဖုန်းနဲ့တော့၎င်းကျွန်တော်ကျမ်းစာပြီးကြတဲ့ဆရာဝန်များဖြစ်ကြတဲ့ဒေါက်တာဝင်းဝင်းဒေါက်တာဟာဒေါက်တာမရီနဲ့ ICU ကဆရာသူနာပြုဆရာမများအားလုံးလည်းဆရာတော် U.S.A ဆရာတော်သူတည်ကျေးဇူးတင်စံတော်ပြောကြလိုပါတယ်။နောက်ဆရာတော်ရဲ့ personal physician primary care physician ဒေါက်တာခင်မေဒီနောက်တော့ဆရာတော်အများအားလာပြီးတော့ကြည့်ရှုပေးကြတဲ့ဒေါက်တာထေးအောင်နဲ့ဒေါက်တာကြည်စန်းတို့လည်းဒီလိုထူးထူးခြားခြားပြောကြလိုပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာနောက်ဆုံးဆရာတော်မကြမ်းမှဖြစ်စဉ်ဆရာတော်ရဲ့ဒီကျမ်းမာရေးအသုံးစရိတ်အတွက်စေနာချက်တန်စွာဒူရန်ပေးခဲ့ကြတဲ့လူရှင်တကာတက္ကမများဆရာတော်ရဲ့ဇာပနာကုန်ကြစည်အတွက်လူငွေများထည့်ခဲ့ကြတဲ့လူရှင်တကာတက္ကမများကိုကျေးဇူးတင်စရာကျွန်တော်ပြောကြရင်ဒီကိုချုပ်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
Sayadaw U.S.A will hand it over to a team of monks, 4 monks, Sayadaw's disciples, led by Sayadaw U.S.A, U.S.A, Unani Sena, and Uvimla. And people will be interested to know that Sayadaw U.S.A from 1970 to 1974 back in Daly, and then later he joined at the U.S. Monastery, and then he has been working with Sayadaw for 20 years. And one of his recent publications is on the questions and answers from the Pitagora. Sayadaw U.S.A was like a Dhamma lecturer from Mahasi, and he is. Will somebody try to remove the flower? Unani Sena studied under Sayadaw from the Berkeley Center and has been responsible for missionary work in Mexico. And Mexico is being represented by CMPT today. And the other Sayadaw, who is the tallest, used to be a kapiya from the early days, and now is a monk and is holding meditation retreats in Kansas, Missouri. So this ceremony tries to have different individuals, different walks of life, different background, to illustrate that Sayadaw U.S.A touched not only Burmese, but people from all walks of life. So that is a symbol that we will see time and again today. So for the third item on the agenda, we call upon Sayadaw U.S.A to come forward. Sukawati and Sayali Masin.
Gama Banjita, Abiriza, Egama, Tatama, Zotiga, Sierra Badana, Dilananda, Biwanda, Diletti, Atobati, Echinjo, Sierra Badana, Dilanana, Biwanda, Tanguya, Nesakona, Dizemala Sechoy, Tauja Nero, Manile, Shisa Delani, Camera, Wana, Jordan, Yamabiduka, Pinyashin, Sia Sine, Mero Domonoma, Wanigavadi. At this Sechoni, Yadoka, Tanguya, Liza Domune. Ebila Sally Nere, Sagan down your Maui Zodia Chone, Sierra Badana Benya Wantago, with Julia, Shendila Nanda, the Bohemian, Damani Chito Yoshigavadi, Sierra Lalayadi, Tanguya Lisa Konokune, Solela Nere, Sierra Benya Wantago, with Julie, Mimi and Do, Yamchito Yoshigavadi, Sierra D, Mimi Ubize, Sarah Tama, Briga Jaza, Chica Sabimiago Lila, Sate Lila Denjaga, a child of Mandalay, Zagamyoshi. Namiji Sacha Sierra Miatandale, Lila Tenjagavadi. Sierra di Tanguya Naza Godetre, Tadana Deza Damasria, Webulaga, Tanguya Napwe, Tibica Bali, Myanmar, Bidan, Tanare, Tawangan, Jangu Sierra Sayukavadi. Sierra di Oda Diaro Miago Lila, Jenja, Ato Ludumia, Asia, Europa, Australia, U.S.A, Canada, Mexico, Sadi, Yazadon and Dudu. Damaduda Kizimia, Twaya, Metaguna, Egyptian, and Jabdagavadi. Tanguya Konasagonet, Mazi Sarovajin, American Pitonsu, the Yoshi, the Chimasayu, the Azkamyazwana, Ubadana, Diamia Hobiajan, Abrima Denda, Vidurum Dendane, a Chato, and Dendan Muzologule, and Jabdagavadi. Sarah D, Jamando de Jogo, English, Myanmar, Nevada, Chenagao, Tegadalago, Spanish, Chinese, Vietnam, Korea, Badagago, Tasodi. You get the two jobs, your nose, so you can't go out with a Google network, Egama, Egama. That Jama Zotica is up, what is it, Dogologo? Natao network, Yango, ways up and dig to my second, go do some, Sabi Barago Dillet, Webulago, Natao Nago network, Sanoa Latica, what is it, Dogologo? Second, Duranjinago, Kayuavati. You could get to Jiba, Bria, Diva, Dana, Dawiniago, Swanswan, the Manchan, Sound Yen, Sarabiaji. The document session in the Tekarunaza Shiwa, Yama Degree, the town of Chausa Konakune, Wagala Zangoye, Credegre, Natang Nagune, Agula Sandoye, Senene, Nane Konanai, Selemine, the board, the Kanda Zayo Dewi, Ajan Yin Deswa, Jalonda Mugavadi.
A brief biography of Venerable Sayadaw Usilananda Pivansa, Agama Panita, Vidija Agama Sadama Zorika, and Honorary Litt. The Most Venerable Sayadaw Usilananda Pivansa was born in Mandalay, Myanmar, on Friday, December 16, 1927, of Mortuary Siasai, a renowned Myanmar architect and Domo. On April 14, 1943, he became a novice under the preceptorship of Sayadaw Upanyapani. He studied not only the Buddhist scriptures, but also various languages, Pali, Sanskrit, English, under the guidance of his preceptor and many other renowned scholar monks in Zakaya and Manila. Nahita Kahasaya, worthy of the suffix Pivansa in 1954. He went to Sri Lanka in 1954 and passed the London member of the Board of Editors for editing the Buddhist text of the Sixth Buddhist Council held in Yangon in 1954. He was appointed as the head of the Tipika Pali, Australia, Europe, and several other countries. He showed loving kindness, metta, and compassion, karuna, to those who are very keen on learning and practicing Buddha's teachings, Dhamma. From the time he came to the U.S. in 1979 with the Most Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, he taught insight meditation, Vipassana, honored with Abhidasa Ega Maha Sadama Jolika, the highest award for Buddhist missionary work. He was the founder and chief resident monk of Dhammananda Vihara Monastery in Half-Moon, Canada, California. He also served as the abbot of Abhayama Shrigu Monastery in Mandalay, Myanmar, rector of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University of Yangon, a member of the executive committee of Shrijan Sect, a member of the advisory board of meditation centers of Mahasi Meditation Center in Rangoon, to name a few. He was also the spiritual director of Tathagata Meditation Center in San Jose, CMBD in Mexico, the Matipa Vihara in Jamaica, and many other organizations worldwide. After working tirelessly to propagate Buddha's teachings,
thân sinh của Ngài là ông Gunachoti Sayasai và bà Dormo. Gia đình Ngài cư ngụ tại thành phố Mandalay, Miến Điện. Năm 1943, khi vừa 16 tuổi, Ngài thọ giới sa y tại chùa Mahawijodaya thuộc thành phố Sagaing Hills, tỉnh Sagaing, Miến Điện, dưới sự hướng dẫn của Ngài Sayadaw Upanyapanta. 4 năm sau, vào năm 1947, Ngài thọ giới tỳ kheo cũng dưới sự tế độ của Sayadaw Upanyapanta. Ngài học Tam Tạng kinh điển với những vị tỳ kheo, pháp sư nổi tiếng ở vùng Sagaing Hills cũng như Mandalay và đạt bằng cao học Phật học Dhammacharya vào năm 1950. 4 năm sau, vào năm 1954, Ngài đậu bằng Pariyati Sasanahita Dhammacharya. Cùng năm đó, Ngài qua Tích Lan du học và lấy bằng chuyên môn về Phạn ngữ, Nam Phạn Pali cũng như Bắc Phạn Sanskrit. Khi kỳ kết tập kinh điển Tam Tạng lần thứ 6 được tổ chức tại Yangon vào năm 1954, Ngài giữ chức vụ thành viên của ban hiệu điển Tam Tạng Kinh và vào năm 1957, Ngài nhận lãnh chức vụ trưởng ban soạn thảo cuốn từ điển Pali Miến cho kỳ kết tập này. Vào năm 1979, khi Ngài tháp tùng Hòa Thượng Thiền sư Mahasi Sayadaw đến Hoa Kỳ để hoàn pháp, Ngài được giao trách nhiệm ở lại Hoa Kỳ để truyền bá giáo pháp. Từ đó, Ngài đã không ngừng nghỉ đi khắp Nam Châu, truyền dạy về pháp thiền Minh Sát Vipassana, pháp học vi diệu pháp Abhidhamma, thanh tịnh đạo Visuddhimagga và những lớp về ngôn ngữ Nam Phạn Pali. Ngài là tác giả của hơn 30 cuốn sách viết bằng Miến ngữ, Anh ngữ và Phạn ngữ. Sách của Ngài được dịch ra nhiều ngôn ngữ trên thế giới như Anh, Việt, Trung Hoa, Tây Ban Nha, v.v. Để vinh danh công phu hoằng pháp của Ngài tại hải ngoại, chính phủ Miến Điện đã dâng đến Ngài danh hiệu Agamaha Pandita vào năm 1993 và danh hiệu Agamaha Sadama Jyotika Daja vào năm 1999.
Abhidasa Agamaha Dandama Zodika Badanda Savinanda Biwanda 法师的生平简介。Badanda Silananda Biwanda 法师出生于1927年12月16日星期五，缅甸曼德勒市。父亲为著名缅甸传统建筑师 U.S.A， 母亲为 Daly。1943年4月13日，16岁时在 Kaiser 马哈维索德拉市与巴登的本雅文达法师座下受戒，法名宣西拉人的。1947年受具足戒，成为比丘。法师在奠定了宗教文学的基础后，也曾到曼德勒最吉祥教众法师封号。1954年，通过被公认为缅甸最困难的 Priyati Dasana Hita Sajadiha Dhammasariya 考试。1954年至57年，前往斯里市，专业科目是巴利文与梵文。在法师为缅文的梵文，目前有法师的学生将部分著作以西班牙文、中文、越南文与韩文做翻译。缅甸政府曾颁发法师的头衔，包括1993年荣获艾嘎玛哈班蒂达头衔，1999年荣获艾嘎玛哈达丹玛Zodiga 的头衔，2000年由仰光大学颁证荣誉文学博士，2005年元月4日荣获最高 Abidza Ega Maha Dadama Zodiga 头衔等。法师精通三藏，持奔指导学生，深受学生爱戴。于2005年8月13日清晨，7月24日圆寂，享年78岁。
County, the Union of Myanmar, to over the Sayadaw Funeral Service Committee, Dhammananda Vihara Monastery, Hammond Bay, California, U.S.A. Subject: Passage conveyed on reflection of sense of urgency. The demise on Saturday, August 30, 2005, of Patanda Dr. Silananda Viosa, 78 years, 58, was Rector, the International Theravada Buddhist National University, abode of Dhammananda Vihara Monastery, Hammond Bay. Abhidaja Ega Maha Sadhamma Jyotika, Ega Maha Pandita, Honorary Litt has been great loss for the Sasana and for the propagation of Sasana. Having lost the great Sasanas, scholars, and reflecting on the impermanent nature of life and the swiftness of death, this message therefore is being conveyed for records. But the Secretary, the State Sangha Mahanayaka Committee,
message of condolence on the noble desire of Venerable Bharana Dr. Silananda Bhiwanda, Rector of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University. Ega Mahapandita Abhidasa Ega Mahatadama Zodika, from the Minister Brigadier General Tura Myanmar, Ministry of Religious Affairs, the Government of the Union of Myanmar, the Working Committee of the Venerable Mahathira Funeral, Venerable Bhattanda Dr. Silananda Biyonda, aged 78, U.S.A. 58, is the very first rector Sayadaw of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Yangon, Myanmar, sponsored and established by the Ministry of Religious Affairs, the government of the Union of Myanmar on 9 December 1998. Before 1979, the Venerable Mahathira took the important role in compiling the TBSA Pali Myanmar dictionary. He spent most of his precious times in teaching Buddhist scriptures to the Bhikkhu and Samanera students and went to the United States of America together with the most venerable Mahasi Eulogy and established American Theravada Buddhist Association and Dhammananda Vihara Monastery in 1980. Then the Venerable Mahathira took responsibility of Avara Katriya, giving guidance to the Dhamma Jaka Meditation Center, the Tathagata Meditation Center, the Body Dhamma Meditation Center, Mexico Theravada Buddhist Association, Jamaica Theravada Buddhist Association, etc. Being engaged in the noble task, he toured around different parts of the United States, Canada, Mexico, Jamaica, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, Laos, People's Democratic Republic, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. to teach the fundamentals of Theravada Buddhism, Abhidhamma and Eulogy, Mega, Dhammapada commentary, Padesa, Samuppa, and other essential teachings of the Buddha. While entirely touring from one country to another, he also wrote many other treatises in Myanmar, Pali, and English. At the same time, he also took charge of noble missionary tasks as a member of Myanmar Shujin Sect Working Committee, the patron Mahathira of Yangon Mahasi Meditation Center, and the chief abbot of Abya Rama Monastery in Mandalay. In reality, the Venerable Bhattanda Dr. Silananda Biyonda is a great missionary by excellence. South San Francisco, California, U.S.A. I feel that it is a great loss to all international Theravada Buddhist devotees. Please accept my heartfelt letters of condolence on the noble demise of the Venerable Mahathira on behalf of the government of the Union of Myanmar, together with all Myanmar Buddhist devotees. Brigadier General Tuya Myanmar, Minister, Ministry of Religious Affairs, Yangon, Myanmar.
Mahanayaka of Abya Rama Shwebu Monastery, Mandalay, Union of Mahanayaka Dhammananda Vihara Hamombe, Shwejin Nikaya Ratini, Mahanayaka and Sangha Nayaka of the International Missionary of Shwejin Nikaya, Ekama Pandita, Ekama Sadma, Jyotika Daja, Abhidaja Ekama Sadma Jyotika, Honorary Litt, Bhattanda Dr. Silananda Biyonda, 78 years, 58 was passed away on Saturday, August 13th, 2005. It is 7:24 a.m. in Kaiser Hospital, South San Francisco, California. Sangha orders this Dhamma message of urgency to be conveyed for records. Daharaja Mandaja Yebalaja Yebala Yicha Bandita Sabe Maju Wasayandi Sabe Maju Parayana. The young and the old, the foolish and the wise must all face death. Mahawusaw Dharma, the Monastery Mandalay, Union of Myanmar.
Condolence from Ministry of Religious Affairs, International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Yangon, Myanmar. The prorectors, the deans, professors, students, and staff are shocked in the grief at the news of passing away of Sayadaw Dr. Silananda Biwansa, the rector of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Myanmar. His passing away is a great loss, which cannot be replaced for the university, the countries, as well as all international Buddhist community. At this sad moment, we share the grief of the great loss, together with the Sayadaw's yogis, disciples, devotees, relatives, and the international Dharma friends, who uphold the teaching of his compassion, love, and wisdom. This message is conveyed by Prorector Academic, Deans, Professors, Prorectors Admin, students of staff of International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Yangon, Myanmar.
Letter of condolence from Mahasi Meditation Center, Yangon, Myanmar. For Honorable Sarah, Dr. Silananda Biwansa, Mortuary Sayadaw, Spiritual Director of Mahasi Meditation Center, Yangon. Aga Mahasalama Jodika, Patanda Dr. Silananda Biwansa, Dhamananda Vihara, Amambe Monastery, Mahathira at Lim passed away on 25th Saturday at 7:24 p.m. in the U.S.A. Venerable Sarah Silananda Biwansa is one of the brilliant stars among the galaxy of intellectuals and the hierarchy of Buddhist priests, and also an outstanding figure among Mahasi Sayadaw's disciples who had been sent abroad on Dhamma Dutta religious missions. We all are very much depressed for Sayadaw's demise and a great loss for our organization. Mahasi Mortuary Sayadaw, Nayaka Sayadaw's Buddha Sasana Nuka Organization, PTC Organization, Women Devotees Organization. At the same time, I would like to say a few.
Most Venerable Sangha members, dear friends, behalf of Sri Lanka and Sri Lankan Sangha members, we would like to convey our condolence. Venerable U Silananda was one of my teachers too. When he arrived to U.S.A. 1979, I met him in Los Angeles, our Zen Center. Since then we developed our friendship. Venerable U Silananda lived in Washington DC, our temple. Our Sri Lankan monk could sponsor him to stay this country. Also, Venerable Silananda lived in Sri Lanka. One of my teachers, Venerable Ananda Maitreya, was his teacher too. So Sri Lanka, in fact, he speaks Sinhalese very well. I want to share one small story. One day, one of our senior monks, Washington DC, Venerable Vikkala Piyananda, Venerable Gunaratana, and Venerable U Silananda went to Burmese house for Dana ceremony. Driver was a Burmese gentleman. Then Piyananda started criticizing Sri Lanka. At that time had a lot of conversion, Christian conversion. He started criticizing that. Then the driver was a Burmese Christian person. U.S.A. knew Sinhalese very well. Therefore, he told in Sinhalese language, says, this Me Mahatma Baudek Nove. It means this person is not Buddhist, therefore. Then after that, our Venerable Piyananda started different ways, started talk. There's such a very wise monk was our Bhante U.S.A. U.S.A. was very fond of path of purification. In that path of purification has a wonderful poems. Says Piyocha Garu Bhavaniyo Vattacha Vatanakramo Gambirancha Katang Katva Yotanathani Nyoje. According to this Buddhist saying, a great personality should have a pleasant countenance. All these qualities were embodiment with Venerable U.S.A. On behalf of Sri Lankan Sangha Council of America and Canada, we wish to express our condolence to the family and friends of the Venerable U.S.A. and Burmese community. Especially before I came here, I happened to talk to our Sri Lankan Prime Minister, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa. He asked me to give his condolence to behalf of the country. Thank you so much.
I first met Venerable U.S.A. in 1985. When I first met him, I was much attracted to Buddhism, but knew nothing about Theravada Buddhism. Now, today, looking back 20 years, I realize that meeting him was the single most important thing that happened in my life. I found in Venerable U.S.A. a living example of virtue and integrity. So strong was his example of virtue and integrity that as time went by, I drew closer and closer to him. At that time, I was 30 years old, and I felt so happy. My spiritual search was over. I had found not only the Buddha's teachings, but also a dear spiritual father who was a living example of the Buddha's teachings. Venerable U.S.A. was a rare example of both and much scholarship on the Buddhist texts and an unremitting commitment to the practice of meditation. But because he was so self-effacing, it took me many, many years to measure how deep and thorough was his knowledge of the Buddha Dhamma.
TBSA, I would like to offer my heartfelt thanks to all of you, especially those who have come from far, for taking your precious time to pay last respects to our beloved mentor, Dhamma teacher, meditation master, and the most venerable Sayadaw U.S.A. Vidamsa. The time allotted for my thank you speech is not enough to list all the individuals and organizations that have supported Sayadaw in his sadhana work and in his health crisis. Due to the law of karma, Sayadaw
despite his wholesome deeds in the present life, suffered a minor stroke a few years back and a terminal brain tumor a few months ago. Sayadaw was loved and cherished not only by his devotees worldwide, but also by others, religious teachers and scholars as well. Medical doctors from Myanmar and U.S., including numerous specialists, not only visited and attended Sayadaw in person, but also offered invaluable advice in person, by phone, and by email. The staff of NA in the Bay Area and beyond, thank you.
On behalf of Sayadaw families in Myanmar, it is with special gratitude for me to express my heartfelt sorrow on the death of my uncle, Venerable Sayadaw Usikananda. Blood tests, those specialist doctor from Kaiser Hospital and my experience and observation, I understood and realized that Sayadaw's health condition was getting worse with multi-organ such as stomach, liver, kidneys failure for the last 5 days before my arrival. Sayadaw's passing away is a great loss, not only to Sayadaw's family in Myanmar, but members of Theravada Buddhist Society of America did during Sayadaw's illness. I have to acknowledge as well all of attending specialists, resident doctors, nurses, technicians, and hospital staffs from Kaiser Hospital for their kindness treatments respectfully to Sayadaw during his hospitalization. In conclusion, please let me mention my great thanks to all Sayadaw's peoples, monks, nuns, and devotees for their hard work and services from days to nights until Sayadaw passed away peacefully. Thank you. Sayadaw's family from Myanmar.
Honorable guests and Dhamma friends. It is a privilege and an honor for me to represent the Tathagata Meditation Center to give a eulogy about Usinalanda. We have known Sayadaw and become his student for almost 20 years, and a great person with many exceptional qualities. And in the contact with him, you may already learn that. But please, give me permission to bring it up here to honor him. Sayadaw is very inspirational. Without him, there is no such a thing as Tathagata Meditation Center today. Sayadaw is very energetic, and I have many opportunity to be close to him. And one time he said to me, and several times he said in front of the yogi, that he would like to work to the end of his life. And he really did. And your wisdom and your loving kindness are two wings to lift us high, high, high up so that we can live our life to the utmost. Especially we, the Vietnamese, came from up after a terrible war. We tried to find a way to live the remaining tithe of our life significantly, and you give us that light in that way. We will do our best to deserve your love and trust. We will continue your mission at TMC. We will follow your footsteps in spreading the teachings of the Buddha, especially the four foundations of mindfulness meditation practice at TMC, to the last moment of our life. One time, you say you would like to work to the end of your life and no retirement. Sayadaw, we will do the same. No retirement, Sayadaw, no retirement.
When I first met Sayadaw Srilananda in 1994, the first thing I thought was how wonderful. A Theravada monk that can speak fluent English and who is accompanied by a Latin American monk. How perfect for me. It was then that he began to introduce us to the incredible world of Abhidhamma, and that's how I started my relationship with Sayadaw. In 1998, I learned through him about the Theravada University in Yangon. I thought to myself, if Sayadaw is the rector, it must be something good. And so I decided to attend the diploma course in Yangon that year. In Mexico, we were aware that Sayadaw advised about everything because of all the cultural difficulties I was going through at that time. He was always very kind to me, and his first words were always "Kanti, Kanti," patience, patience. Everybody at the University in Yangon knew me as Sayadaw's Mexican disciple. At the closing ceremony, when he handed me my diploma, he looked into my eyes as if he were saying, "You see, here is the result of your patience." I looked back at him, and we both smiled. Through him, I also learned about the meaning of Dhammadutta and missionary work. There is no better example than what he did during his whole life. Last year, when he attended the 5th anniversary of the Dhamma Vihara, the monastery in Mexico, he was so happy to see other elder monks as guests and devotees, and how the monastery had grown during those few years. We had started from scratch because none of us had a clue about how to run a monastery. Of course, all of it has been made possible because he had the vision to give us his right arm, which is what he used to call Venerable Unandisena, who has himself been a pillar in Mexico and Spanish-speaking countries. And Sayadaw was also very generous to give us the support of the TBSA, because without your help, we couldn't have started. I had the opportunity to travel with Sayadaw on his first visit to India. It was quite an experience to recite the Iti-Piso together in the holy places and to travel in a rickshaw in Varanasi, going to the Motilal bookstore looking for ancient books. I could keep going on and on with wonderful stories about Sayadaw, but I just want to finish by sharing with you some of the last moments I spent with him. In May, when I came to visit him after his surgery, I had the blessing of being able to help him with
and Dharma friends. I have decided to talk about how wonderfully Venerable Usilananda represented the ideal virtues of a monk. Those virtues are enumerated in the beginning of the Metta Sutta, and Sayadaw himself once commented on them. Using those two things as references, I will comment very briefly on how he lived up to those virtues. It is my hope that all of us will thank him by striving to emulate his fine example as best we can. First, the sutta says, "He who is skilled in good and who desires to attain the state of calm, nibbana, should act thus." Sayadaw commented, "One who is skilled in good knows how to do things." Sayadaw knew how to do so many things. So he was a linguist and master of many languages, thankfully English, a writer of many books, a teacher of many students, a computer devotee, a Dharma pioneer bringing the Buddhist message to many lands. But mostly he was skilled in kusala, speaking and acting in a wholesome way. The sutta says, a monk should be able, Sayadaw commented, a monk should be able to strive for liberation from the round of rebirths. He should be able and ready to put forth effort to practice meditation. Sayadaw always centered his activities around the practice of meditation, even when it would have been much easier to do other things. And he always encouraged his students to focus on meditation, on the practice. The sutta says, a monk should be upright, perfectly upright. Sayadaw commented, a monk should be straight, perfectly straight, very straight. That means he should be honest, not just ordinarily honest, but perfectly honest. Sayadaw's life is a testament to the fulfillment of this virtue. The sutta says, a monk should be gentle. Sayadaw commented, a monk should be gentle in deeds, gentle in words, and gentle in mind. Although Sayadaw had a formidable array of talents, his gentle manner allowed students of great diversity to readily approach and learn from him. Metta always crowned his sharp sword of wisdom. The sutta says, a monk should be contented. Sayadaw commented, monks must be contented. Contentment here means satisfaction with what one already has. Lay people provide monks with the four requisites. It is like harassment to ask lay people for many things. Contentment is a good quality for both monks and lay people. When you have contentment, you have happiness. The Buddha said, contentment is the best of wealth, the best of riches. Sayadaw was a missionary monk, so he often encountered lay people who did not know how to provide for him properly. Complaints just never happened. Instructions and corrections were given occasionally, and we learned to do better while Sayadaw's Kanti Parami reached the celestial realms. The sutta says, a monk should not commit any wrong such that the wise might censure him. Sayadaw commented, a monk must carefully and heedfully act in such a way that no wise person will criticize him. Sayadaw assiduously pursued this goal throughout his life. May we also pursue this lofty goal.
Most venerable Sangha and Dharma friends, I'm Tsunai, venerable Dharma teacher, guide, and friend. Venerable Sayadaw Sivananda's teaching and life. In addition, I would like to express my deep appreciation to the resident Sayadaws, board members, and yogis in Brahmananda Monastery and Tathagata Meditation Center. Without your selfless devotion, there will be no possibility for me to listen to Sayadaw's teaching and get so much nourishment from the Dharma. Venerable Sayadaw with Lalanda leaved him to help in learning the Dharma. He was so available. He offered himself so freely to whoever met him. That kind of thing was so easy to take for granted, to overlook. Sometimes I miss it. I didn't even realize I was receiving a teaching. He was a living example of how to repay the Buddha for his teaching. Sayadaw always practiced clear comprehension, sampajanya. It is the key to practice mindfulness, continually practice mindfulness. Sayadaw emphasized this point. Be relaxed, continue practice. Do not expect to attain even concentration. It is a subtle form of breathing, keeping practicing one object at a time. For example, I had the good fortune to receive his instruction on Vishtimagga and a commentary of Samanana Fala. He showed me how to explore the meaning of the Dharma from commentary and read carefully both on the practice and on the meaning of the words.
In addition, when he brought up different explanations from different resources, he called them and kept them as they were without personal bias. The way he presents his teaching, in some sense, is another way of practicing mindfulness. It demonstrates to me each moment his practice of mindfulness quite naturally. After every teaching, he always recited the final sentence that he taught me, and he returned mindfully to his study room. The first time I was not very sure, but one day his way of keeping mindful hit on my head. Sayadaw was practicing mindfulness from one activity to another activity, so no wonder he was so productive at the age of 70, and so energetic and relaxed. Yes, he practiced what he taught, and he taught us his practice. The memorial service we did today for Sayadaw was Lalanda. The teacher's teaching continued without end, obviously, without the teaching continued.
The sun that rose from the east, that shined forth over the world, has set into the west. When I was in the Sydney, Australia, on 13 this month, I heard this bad news from the Gotenton. So I'm trying to go back to Myanmar, my country, to apply the visa, to get air ticket, and right back in my home on 17th morning in Yangon. I filled out the application form for my visa. On 18th morning, I applied the visa. In the evening, I have visa to the United States. Only one day. How shall I say? I'm very happy or I'm so sad. And then I book my ticket. Yangon to Bangkok, Bangkok to Tocho, Tocho to San Francisco. I departed from Yangon on 20th evening via Bangkok. Whole night I'm flying in the sky, Bangkok to Tocho. Whole night in the sky, I can't sleep. I spent the whole day on 20th at Tocho Airport. I flew my flight from Tocho 21st evening, arrived here 21st morning, 10:45. In the San Francisco airport, immigration asked me many questions for 1 hour. I overcome because Burmese passport. So I didn't have a chance for 2 nights to sleep. I cannot estimate my life. For many nights or many days, I cannot sleep because the sun that rose from the east, that shined forth over the world, has set into the west. Today, last day, to pay our respect to the Sayadaw, to pay our great honor to the Sayadaw. Tomorrow, we don't have a chance. It's the last day.
most venerable monks, Bhikkhu Sangha, venerable monks, and students, Dayaka, Dayika, Upasaka, and many students and scholars, and meditation masters, all us are gathered together to pay their honor and their last respect. Say in various ways, Sayadaw's honor, Sayadaw's respect, to pay their respect. In the sky, many stars, countless number of stars are shining every night. If someone want to count, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, etc. Just trying to count. Nobody can count the stars shining in the sky. And within the very limited time, today, nobody can count the dignity of the Sayadaw, great endeavor for the Buddha Sasana of the Sayadaw, the wisdom of the Sayadaw, the work of the Sayadaw for the Buddha Sasana. Nobody can count. So I like to express very few words. The great endeavor, great wisdom of the Sayadaw. Asian Silanana Bhimanasa was old star of the Theravada Buddhists. It would not be wrong to articulate that he also was the son and monk to the Buddhists of the Sagai, Myanmar. Because he received lower ordination as a Samanera in Sagai. He received higher ordination, Upasamada, in Sagai. So I like to say, son of the Sagai. His Upajaya, Acharya, Vijoria Sayadaw Bhadanda Penyawansa, very famous Dhammagatika, Dhammaparicha. And then he was born in Mandalay, the last canon of Myanmar. All of monks, even myself, was born in the countries of Myanmar. Sayadaw Usilananda was born in Kingdom of Mandalay. Very wonderful Sayadaw. He has great teacher who was great Dhammagatika, Dhammaparicha, Vijoria Sayadaw. He is a preceptor, Upajaya. Therefore, I would like to say, son of the Sagai, now set in the United States. He was an extraordinary monk in the history of Buddhism of the present age, whose unforgettable Buddhism mission was originated at the Vijoria Monastery of Sagai. Though he belonged to the Shuichen Nikaya in Myanmar, he was revered by all Nikayas of Sangha, namely Shuichen Nikaya, Dwara Nikaya, Sudama Nikaya, etc. in Myanmar. His knowledge on Pali and Sanskrit was undoubtedly remarkable. He had tirelessly taught the Tipitaka in English language. Today, all of Theravada, Mahayana monks gather together, endeavor and wisdom. I remember at the last day of the Lord Buddha, in the southwest corner of Kushinara, 700,000 monks gathered together to pay their last respect
to the Buddha. On the eve of Buddha's Parinibbana, the king of deity, Sekha, came and paid respect, recite one stanza, Anichavada Sankara, etc. This was recited by the Sekha. And then Brahma, Sahampati also came to pay his respect to the Buddha. And he recited one stanza, Sabbiva Nikibi Sandi Bhutta Loke Samosyan, etc. But it's not enough. But they want to pay their respect the last day. And Anuruddha recited two stanzas. Nahu Asasa Pasaso Tita Chikta Sadarino, etc. Anandatira also recited one stanza. When Buddha passed away, the quick, the became the quick, trembling, very astonishing. Ananda only see this. He can't see any quality of the Lord Buddha. He say only the earthquake. On the past week of this year, Usilananda, on 13 in the morning, I'm watching on television the earth in the eastern part of the Japan, quite trembling, so trembling, maybe this earth pay his last respect to our Sierra. Now I announce like Ananda here. He was a pioneer Sierra whose guidance was of the great value in the publication of a Pali Myanmar dictionary that school stated of one standard dictionary like the Pali English dictionary published by Pali Text Society, London. Since he came to the United States of America with an Niskan Sayadaw. In Myanmar, Yangon, 1954, Sikh Sangha Council was called from Theravada country, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, all over Theravada country, Theravada Buddhists, Ami monks attended in this Sikh council. After this council, Sarah Usilananda's missionary to the world started. Very famous Dhamma Paricha, Dhamma Katika. Niskan Sayadaw led in this missionary. Niskan Sayadaw, Usilananda Sayadaw, Ukidara Sayadaw, and other two Sayadaw and two lay people travel around the world. This is the first mission of the Sayadaw Usilananda. Since he came to the United States of America with the Niskan Sayadaw, a famous Dhamma preacher of Zakai Hay, and Mahasi Sayadaw, a famous great meditation master, he had been teaching a Bidama, conducting Vipassana courses, publishing texts for more than 2.5 decades. Sayadaw had won the respect of all Theravada Myanmar monks who are in the Buddhist missionary service. And he was not only revered by the Theravada Buddhists, but also by Tibetan, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Korean, Mahayana Buddhists also. Very wonderful teacher. Thus, respectable quality can be attributed to Sayadaw, Saint Silananda P1sa. Sayadaw was not only a great scholar of Pali, Sanskrit, English, Myanmar literature, but also a great meditation master whose skill similar to people from different backgrounds. He had already reached his 78 years of age by the time passed away. Early half of his life was spent in Myanmar. The rest of his life was in the United States of America. He devoted all of his life to the Buddha Sasana in the East and West as well. He was the rector of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University of Myanmar. He was also the founder of the Theravada Buddhist Association of America. A deer is incapable of escaping from the king of jungle, a lion, Moggallana Thera, who was the foremost second to the Buddhists in supernatural power. Sariputta Thera, who was the foremost second to the Buddhists in wisdom, had to fall into the power of death. What can be said of those like us? The Pole star Ashen Silanana Bhiwansa, who was great scholar, Eka Mahapandita, and who was a great meditation master, Eka Mahakamatana Charya, of Theravada Buddhists in the United States had faded away. It was an irreplaceable loss of Buddha's dispensation since treasure of the Shui Chen Nikaya in Myanmar, Theravada Buddhism was lost in the northern island, the North America. Nevertheless, we strongly believe that the lamp of the Satipatthana and the lamp of Abhidhamma, lighted by the shadow, will continue to shine forth in the United States of America as well as in many places of the world. I pay my deepest respect to all the endeavor he made for the dispensation of the Buddha. In the last day of the Lord Buddha, many deities, many Brahma, many Arahant reciting many stanzas to express the honor of the Lord Buddha. But 700,000 monks, 700,000 disciples of the Lord Buddha wanted to listen the last word of the Buddha. Therefore, on the midnight, before the Buddhas passed away, Buddha summarized all of his teaching taught for 45 years. Within the 2 or 3 minutes, he summarized all of his teaching. Vayadhamma sankhara apamadina samparita. This is the last word of the Lord Buddha. In the last day of the Sayadaw, bounded and conditional things have their nature constantly flux, momentary dissolution. So, apamadina samparita, which this nature of formation, with mindfulness, honestly, with mindfulness, to complete your task set by the Buddha. To complete our task. What does our task means? To complete work of the Lord Buddha. Nevertheless, we strongly believe that the lamp of the Satipatthana and Abhidhamma, lighted by the shadow, will continue to shine forth in the United States of America as well as in many places of the world. I pay my deep respect to all the end of the Tibetana, carry the lamp of the Abhidharma to dispel the darkness of delusion from the heart of the people. May they preserve the lamp lighted forever. May our Sayadaw U.S.A. attain the Nibbana. Thank you very much.
And to close the ceremony, we shall all recite Nesavada Sankhara 3 times.
Panaga, Nitekani, Sambirama, Sarawuza Lengara, Sarawunanda, Malabi Wamsa, Sarawumla Ramsi, Tomaroga, Nibirama, Landoye, Shiga Nibirama, Kain Sami, Umiatu, Dr. Dante, Umume, Mopio, Rudy, Sumama, Onewen, Sarat, Dr. Tianoga, Nibirama, the Pegor, the Betachamania, Ubirama, Lando, Gabo, open some of Chabari. Kuchinga Sabiro, Sarabiago, also in it, Garo, and Chakalo of Chabari. Jesus Shandia, now some Puzo Gadoyam, for in it, Bali, Myanmar, in English, don't bother from people. Isyo no bandi, Isagama, Yata balam, Yata mulam, Yata akutalam, Ye mayam, Tomakam, Anadrena, Tamuda Sritabang, Aminima, Tetano, Bandi, Tomi, Isyam, Sayadaw, Patikanatha, Ayate, Tamwaraya, Jesus in Sayadaw, Vyajipya, Mighty Alaya, Worthy Alaya, Malay Madi Alaya, Apieti, Vyarabidamya Abo, Rafayajigo, Mayomate, Yoso, Yuchim Mika Buddhihu, Almi Matinja Bagoni Paya, Jesus Shem, Sayadaw Pyaji Pya, Sayadaw Pyaji Di, Nani Sisaya, Yamanangana Danayi Winitanama, Polo Ade, Sayadaw Pyaji Poma, also Polo Ade, Meno, Sarangu, Sayadaw Pyaji Kopya Lebido, Seka Mapsabare, Gula Seka Nemo, Yamanangama Jawla, TBSA Tirawara, Tanami to Dudia Pamokajo, Dr. Minji. I have been a Sarajaji go to Saram Jali Sikabivaya and Jambare.
The order request of release from at the BMU for Sayadaw as a rector. It's just.
You know the bed, Angaramayon, Karagamamayo, Sarajaji Sarajaji Yuglado, and it's our Dinkara, Inya Pia Yusu, Biduma Damadamika, Kadaramia Yusu, Biduma, Tini, Kana, Demapsibari. Aja Alo, Sarabia Yugla Simara, Sarudopana, Padama, Nivamia, Piro Sarabia Yugla, Beben Yabema, Sarah Uzo Dalengara, Sarah Unanda Malabiwam Sanabaga, Pena Namani Vamia, Piro Venerable Wudla Ramsi, Umiatu, Dr. Dante, Umiome, Opshua, Rudy, Shimama, Onewe, Sarah, Dr. Tiao, Kushima Labi, Yaigo. Ajabare, Jabaria, and I was in the Niagara, Yaribiro, the Sarapia, Yola, Donoga, and Wilma dancing, Kayo Java, and you did what? Guatemala, and you see and can do.
Isiono Bante Isagama Yatha Balan Yatha Mulan Yatha Agutalan Yemayan Tomakan Anadarena Amudha Sritabang Amiyema Tetano Bante Tome Timbara Obada Damino Obesejawa Virusani Yeta Obada Motuko Anesawa Obada Damino Obesejawa Virusani Akulo Yahweh Yangan Ibra Chain Ubiro Layapi Saroye Antima Zabana Kana Kulayao Pucha Jarepe American Nangan Tirawara Buddha Bada Dinja Koza Janawani Bro Jizu Tuti Jam Jaluare Janaro who Ilongazema and the children and Shiloshi and the Roro Quilo Javalu Taumare Saroye Jama Ye Pojazi do Dumiru the Signa Tatanza, Suranya, Lucien the Gata Mamia, Saroye Sabana Kunjazi Signa Tatanza, Power Kunjare the Gata Luciania alone like you to Yangana, Jojalubarina, Sierra Majama Dinga, Alu Puzujare, Siawamia, Siamamia, Parumia, Tunabu, Siamamia, Masa, Sierra, Neonia, Labiro, Abiro, Social Jare, the Gadagamamia, alone with two Jesus to Jojalubar.
ပေါ်လိုက်ပါမယ်ဦးရမြဘုန်းကြီးတွေနှစ်ပါးကဆရာဦးစောတာလည်းငါရာဘောတတနောက်ဦးမြတ်ထူးကျော်တေဇဦးတမောင်လွယ်ဦးလာမဲစမဒိတ်တီကိုနေဝဲရွှေမန်းမောင်ကိုမြတ်ဆွေဒေါက်တာထေးအောင်ဒေါ်ရှယ်လီဆရာလေးမတုခကာမီမာကူနောက်ဗီဒီယိုမှတ်တမ်းတင်ကိုမဲမဲအဲ15ရောက်လိုက်မယ်နော်ကျန်တဲ့အားလုံးကနောက်ကနေတန်းစီပြီးတော့မှအဲဒီဘုံသားတီအောင်အားလုံးလိုက်ပို့ကြမယ်နော်တန်းစီပြီးတော့မှပဲပေါ့နော် ဇွန်လေးနဲ့ဖြည်းဖြည်းချင်းပါလားဖြည်းဖြည်းချင်းချင်းလိုက်ဇွန်လေးယူလားဇွန်လေးရတယ်ယူတော့ကျဲလို့ရပါတယ်ဒီဟိုဘက်ကနေကြည့်ရတယ်လွတ်တဲ့နေရာတန်ကြောင်းတွေကိုအခေါင်းမှရိုက်တယ်ကောင်းမှုစုစုတို့ဤဘုရားကကိုယေရှုရှင်